Today we're going to talk about being able to voice lead arpeggios through 2-5-1s and use some substitutions and hopefully unlock a little bit more of the guitar, harmonically speaking. Hi, I'm Mike Anderson. I teach jazz guitar here at the Jazz Music Institute. At JMI, we're trying to create a world where everyone can improvise and play jazz. So first of all, we're going to talk about being able to spell out the chord changes using arpeggios for a 2-5-1 in the key of C. And we're in the key of C and we're going to keep it in one position and we're going to play all our shapes derived from this C major scale position. Some guitarists will know it very well. Okay, so we've got a 2-5-1 in the key of C, so that means we're going to be playing D minor 7, G7 and C major 7. And I'm just going to show you these arpeggios very, very quickly. Here's D minor 7. G7. And C major 7. So first of all, I think it's important just to really, really know these shapes really well, so you can just play them up and down fairly freely. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to address how the notes from each arpeggio relate to each other respectively. And we're going to do that using a voice leading exercise that I kind of picked up from a couple of places and sort of made my own thing with it as a way of, really getting into how these arpeggios relate to each other, and we can spell out the chord changes really well. So what we're going to do, we're going to play one bar of D minor 7, eighth notes, one bar of G7, playing eighth notes, and then 2 bars of C. And what we're going to do is we're going to run eighth notes all the way through for each arpeggio, except we're going to keep it in this position and we're only going to change direction when we run out of room. And that way we get a shape of a line that moves independently of when the chords move, which is a really, really good thing. So I'll give you a first example of this. So here's D minor 7. So that's 4 beats on D minor 7 as eighth notes, and then we've got 4 beats on G7. We're going to grab the next available note and keep ascending until we run out of room on the guitar, and then we're going to come back down. So D minor, G7, C major 7. So what's happening here is I'm just ascending, regardless of the chords moving, I'm just ascending and descending. So I'll give you that example again, and then I'll give you a couple more examples. 2, 3, and again. D minor, G7, I did that first example starting on the lowest available note on the D minor 7, which is this note, the flat 7, or C if you like. Now I'm going to do the same thing, except starting this time on the root note, the next highest available note. So that will be D minor 7. And then G7. Do that one again. D minor, G7, C. Now the same thing, except I'm just going to switch direction of the first note. Okay, and so what we can do, we can go through each of these different starting notes on the D minor 7. So we've just done this one, this one, this one. Now I'm going to start on this note here. And so what we end up doing, if we run eighth notes all the way through, we essentially get every possible voice leading combination of these three arpeggios in this one position. Okay, so I'll just do a couple more examples. D minor, G7. See again. Next one. And so on throughout. The last one you would get to would be the highest note here, D minor, G7, C. Okay, so once you've gotten through all of them, it shouldn't take you too long if you know these shapes really, really well. And if you don't, this will force you to know those shapes really, really well. Okay, now one more thing that I would like to say with this little exercise, as well as just picking a starting note and going up and down and stopping, we can actually continue the line of eighth notes as well. So for instance, remember we've got one bar of D minor, one bar of G7, and then 2 bars of C. So I'm going to play arpeggios all the way through, up and down, and only changing direction when I run out of room. And yeah, I'm just going to keep that line going up and down. Remember, that line is independent of when the chords move, just because it's dictated by the position we are in on the guitar. So here we go. D minor 7, G7, C major 7, D minor 7, G7, C major 7, D minor 7, G7, C major 7. G7, C major 7. I hope you enjoyed that lesson on voice leading arpeggios. I will catch you next time.